Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back. It's Ham Radio Live. Oh, it seemed like it'd be forever and a day, right? But we made it. We're back. Welcome to show 207, everybody. Please subscribe. We don't monetize the channel. We do it for fun, actually to give back to people, to help them get on radio bands, also to help them to do well in ham radio. Welcome to the show from around the world today. This is show number 207. My goodness. I am truly grateful, honored, and just so happy that you're here today. Thank you for coming to the channel. And again, your subscription does mean a lot because it will help people that don't know about ham radio or would like to get into it to be able to get in and be able to get themselves a ham radio license. That's what this is really all about. Hello, everybody. It's been exactly 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Today is Sunday, the 23rd of May, 2021. Welcome to the show. Welcome to my shack. It's good to see you. My name is Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'd like to thank you for coming from around the world to see the show today. It'll be a little different. We've added some elements to it that I hope will be helpful for those in the ham and shortwave hobbies, and hopefully you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Before we start with the news, we'll start to say hellos. First in the house, it's our dear friend Gunter in Germany. Yep, he comes here from Schirach City. I always say it wrong. By the shores of the Rhine River. That's what we'll say. Gunter, DK5ONV, is in the house. Gunter, welcome to the show. It's so good to see you. Welcome to you and you for being here, because you know you gave up a lot to come to the channel. You actually stopped working remotely to be here today, and I thank you. Thank you, Gunter. That's very kind. Thank you. Tom is here from Bahrain. Tom, thank you for coming. His call sign, Alpha Echo 1 Tom Papa. In Bahrain, it's Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Welcome, Tom. Good to see you. Will Myers, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike. The sign-off comes for you today, buddy. Yeah, it does. Yep, today is the sign-off for you. You guys do a thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. It's very, very kind. Rod Clare from West Salem, Oregon in the house. West Salem by way of Seattle, right? Did you get your granddaughters okay? I hope so. Welcome back, Rod. Good to see you. It's good to be back. And Sean, East of the Cascades, hello there. It's great to see you. Yeah, it was a good break. It was good to get, I needed to get away because it was kind of, there was a good reason why I was not feeling well. My brother, his call sign WIFI, known as Wi-Fi, downstairs of our house. Bob, welcome to the show. Joe is here, Alpha Golf 7 X-Ray Hotel. Thank you very much, Joe. Scott is here from the, look at this, I love how he says this, from the end of the long dirt road from North Boston, New York. Sean, Scott, welcome. Kilo Charlie 2, Charlie Alpha Delta. Thanks for coming, Scott. Great to see you. John is here. Hello, John. Welcome back to you, too. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I appreciate it. All right, my friends, we're going to get into ham radio news and information. But first, if you'd like to get into ham radio, we definitely want you to join our hobby, okay? There's a few places around the world that you can contact to get yourself licensed to get on the path to get into ham radio. First one is the American Radio Relay League. Find them at www.arrl.org. If you're in Japan, contact the Japan Amateur Radio League at www.jarl. They'll be able to help you. Our friends in Great Britain, where ham radio is exploding as well as it is in Japan. It really is. Both countries have seen a huge increase in licenses. Contact the Radio Society of Great Britain at www.rsgb.org. And our mates in Australia, the Wireless Institute of Australia, can be found at www.wia.org. I'd like to welcome you to the show today. Well, let's get in the news and see what's going on in the world of ham and shortwave radio to keep you up to date. We'll also have the current propagation forecast that goes a little farther than what you see on QRZ or other other web pages around the world. It will get into a little more detail about what's exactly happening around the world. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for coming, everybody, from around the world. Wow, this is just truly always an honor to do the show for you, so thank you. All right, so first of all, Friedrichshafen is still on. This is going to be really cool. This is actually a really neat ham fest that is huge in Europe, but you know the folks here in the States don't know enough about it. We just don't. But here's the deal. It's going to be virtual. Yeah. going to be a virtual ham fest. It's going to be as if you're walking the ham fair grounds there in Friedrichshafen and being able to go to booths and get information about products from different manufacturers. It's going to be amazing. It really is. This is going to be happening on the weekend of June 25th and 27th, and you'll be able to also exchange information with other ham radio enthusiasts. Yep, it's right on your internet. Find out about that and find out online from Friedrichshafen there. You just take a look at how it's spelt here and look at that with Ham Fest, and you will have that information. My good friends in the Great Britain Commonwealth, there is some news for the England Midlands. Burton Amateur Radio Club has an open net, on Sundays, and this is obviously today, and I know you've missed it, but it's something to help you in the future. Now, on 10 a.m. in the morning at 145.575 on FM, they have an open net. Monday sees some Morse code training from 11 a.m. on. That's going to be at 14.055 on 20 megahertz. Then on Wednesdays, there's an open net back on FM there at 145.575 up on 2 meters. And from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays, you can join them for that. Barry, Mike 0, India Sierra Zulu hosts that. Pretty cool stuff. Northampton Radio Club has daily nets as well in the UK, 145.3625 megs on 2 meters from 10 a.m. and a weekly net at 145.3625 megs. If you want information, the internet is your goal right there. Just send them an email at that link. You can find it here on the comment section. Japan Amateur Radio Club. Look at this. This is great news. It is growing again. Yep, ham radio is growing. After 27 years, JARL returns to growth. The number of members in the Japan Amateur Radio League has increased from the previous year for the first time in 27 years. Translation of a post on the JARL website says, the league has been actively engaged in membership development activities to strengthen its organizational foundation. It's also to promote membership development plans by regional headquarters and branches, continuation of various campaigns for new members and current members, plus strengthening of cooperation with related organizations and companies. Now, this is big news. Ham radio is increasing. As of March 7th, the third year of their review, 65,788 folks. That's an increase of only 574, but it's still an increase. Congratulations to the folks in Japan. That's a really cool news. Cool news. If you're in Australia, the board of the WIA, which is the Wireless Institute of Australia, have determined that the AGM will be held on Saturday the 26th. It's a big weekend because you've got Friedrichshafen's virtual ham fair that weekend, plus you have this going on, plus you have field day here in the States. So a lot of stuff that weekend. But anyway, it's going to be on the 26th of June, commencing at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 9 a.m. in the West. The Wireless Institute of Australia AGM in 2021 will be held as a virtual meeting, utilizing a video conference facility as well as streaming the event on YouTube like it was done last year. If you want more information on that, please contact the Wireless Institute of Australia, and they are going to do their very best to help you out. If you're looking for an amazing book, and I mean a real good one, whether you're in ham or shortwave, the World Radio and Television Handbook is essential. This is really good. Now, this has all the radio and television stations listed from around the world, literally. And one of the beautiful things about this book, it's come out every year. This is the 75th year of it. Take a look at this. You can literally go and find out where international radio is to find out what's going on the HF bands. Who are you listening to? What's going on, right? This is just a handy book. And I've had multiples of these, and it's gotten shorter. Over the years, it's gotten shorter, but it's got still a ton of information in it. This is really big. You can find this on Amazon.com or your local bookstore. Again, World Radio and Television Handbook. Fantastic guide for you to have in your collection if you're interested in learning more about that kind of stuff, right? What you're listening to on the shortwave bands, where's that signal coming from? That'll help you. Today's trivia question: in what year was the ASCII computer code first allowed for use by amateurs on the air? Was it 1970, 1972, 1976, or 1980? Hit me up in the comments section with your guess, and we will let you know who is right or wrong. Current gray line map, you can see the North American, South American continent pretty much all in the sun right now. And we've got darkness there in Asia and creeping up on you folks in Great Britain and Scandinavia. Soon be dark there. And right now, it looks like, according to conditions here, and this is just from about an hour or so ago, SFI is all the way up to 83. Finally, we have a number that's in the 80s. How about that? 83. All right. The A index is 5. K is 1. This is good. Okay, take a look at 6, 4, and 2 meters. Yep, 2 meter E-skip is open as well today. If you're going to do moon bounce, good opportunity to do so today. If you take a look at that sun, yeah, see that big spot? That is a solar, that's a sunspot. It's a coronal hole, but it also kind of doesn't quite face Earth, but does a little bit. And there's been a little activity from that little bugger. So we might have a little bit of problems later on today and a couple of days out because of that. I'll keep you up to date on that. Current magnetic geomag field is very quiet, S0 to S1. Now keep in mind, when you see this, again, it's a forecast, just like what I'm going to give you is a forecast. But what I'm going to give you now is something very different and new to the show. Here are the current noise floors from around the world, okay? From all the way in Asia to all the way in South America. Take a look at the map. Now, there's one outlier here, and that's South Africa. Take a look at that. The noise floor is very high in both places. I'll keep an eye on this to see if it's maybe just a noisy antenna and SDR, or if maybe it's just, you know, they're having storms there and it's a bad day. But every place else is pretty darn consistent. If you take a look around the world here, it's been very consistent all day. The average around the world right now, if you're on 40 meters, is going to be a noise floor of about S.375. On 20 meters, about S3. But if you take South Africa out, this is what kind of an impact it has, all right? If you take South Africa out with those high numbers, all of a sudden 40 is S3.3 and 20 S2.6. That means pretty good DX today. Yep. Pretty good DX. So that is what it looks like today. 20 meters for this evening. It's iffy, all right? From what I could tell from the nighttime SDR readings, and I did check quite strongly, there were weak signals that were heard, but they weren't very strong. That's the key message for you to understand. They weren't really heavy. So keep in mind, if you're going to run 20 tonight, keep the headphones low. It's not worth your hearing, but do listen because it could be open. I'm going to give it a 50-50 shot at the 20-meter band being open tonight here in North America, as well as in England and throughout Europe. It's one of those nights where it's just iffy. We have a high SFI, but we also have quite a bit of a noise here that's kind of not working too good in our favor. When we have an A index, take another look back here at the forecast. Okay, when we have an A index of 5, that's good. A K index of 1, also good. Okay, those are both good numbers. We have a low aurora latitude, though, at 67.5. Okay, we also have a solar flare probability of 18%. That's not too bad. But keep in mind, it isn't the best day to do DX, but you can do some DX today. Just make sure you keep your headphones quiet. It's a good idea. It'll help save your hearing, and you'll be a happier clam for doing so, okay? Let's say some hellos, and that's the end of the forecast. So we'll hope that helps you with noise floors from around the world. Again, about an S3 or so on 40, right about an S2.75 to S3 on 20 meters today. So good. That's good. Quiet conditions for sure. Yeah. All right, let me catch up with you all to say hello. James Stanley's here. Welcome. Mike 7, Bravo X-Ray Tango. He's here with his mate. That's his pup. He's the station manager, however. That's Monty. Monty's call sign is Mike 7. Mike 7, Bravo X-Ray Tango /K9. Yes, that's true. Yeah, because that's his dog. So, that's part of the shack there. So we're going to say hello to Monty as well. Hello, Monty. Welcome to the channel. It's good to see you. Also, we're going to say a big hello, and we're grateful that you're here. We had good news, by the way, on Friday, which is pretty cool. Andy is here from Great Britain. Andy, welcome to the channel. It's good to see you again. It's good to be back. I'll tell you, no question, I am so happy to see you and see so many of all of you here today. Thank you for that. Wow. Pretty cool when you come back and you see so many great people to say hello. That's cool. Ishmael is here from Dominica. He's one of our younger viewers here. He's in his teens. His call sign, Juliet72, India Mike Sierra. Welcome back to you, Ishmael. Thank you. Good to see you, buddy. All right, so today we have a trivia question, which we usually do. And, oh, wait, we got another one. We got Bill. Hello, Bill. His call sign is Whiskey Delta 6, Papa Delta X-Ray. He's here from Kansas. Bill, welcome back. Good to see you. Hello there. All right, so let's get into a little bit of what we're going to talk about today, all right? We have a trivia question for today, all right? Topic question for today. What's the one rig or transceiver that got away? Like the one transceiver, right, for ham radio or the shortwave radio that got away from you? The one that you just like, doggone it, why'd I sell that? I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on that, because we all have one that we kind of look at and go, doggone it, why'd I sell that one, right? And that we'd like to talk about today. So it could be anything from an old Drake to a current ICOM, whatever it is. Share it here in the comments section. We'll share it with the world, all right? Welcome to the show. Been a long time. Been a long time. A good time. It was a perfect time to kind of take a little break. So we're also going to today show Tom in Bahrain doing something really special for shortwave and medium wave DXers as well as long wave. Folks in the North American continent really don't understand long wave because we don't get it very much here. Most of the long wave stations are over in Europe or in Western Asia. So we don't get a lot of long wave here. But Tom, bless his heart, on his Kenwood TS590 did do a band sweep for us. And what I love about this video is it shows the beautiful sound of Kenwood. It really does. I've said for a long time how Kenwood rigs have just this real rich sound. Well, here's Tom working the medium wave band, short wave, as well as long wave from Bahrain. Take a look at this. This is what it sounds like if you were in the Middle East using a good quality radio doing some DX work. I want to thank Tom for this. His call sign's Alpha Echo 9 Tom Papa, and in Bahrain, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. Here we go.
And I didn't want to write a song, 'cause I didn't want anyone thinking of. Plus tôt dans la journée d'un samedi, le NBE a annoncé avoir enregistré plus de 30.
I know that, some expert is calling even for like paying a young couple a million.
Okay, now folks in North America, you take a look at the frequency, 7,300, right? So 7.3 megahertz. He went up from where he was at before. In Bahrain, you can't use ham radio above 7.2. This is why. It's because there's all these short wave frequencies, all these stations that are in, Europe and Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and they're transmitting on those frequencies. That's why they can't transmit there, but here in the U.S. we can because we're far enough away. Let's keep listening. Tom is still here on the 40-meter band. And that is the bottom of 40 meters for short wave in Bahrain. And when I say bottom, I mean bottom of the shortwave band. That's just above the top of the ham bands in Bahrain. Now Tom's moving over onto the AM band, as we know, AM or medium wave band here in North America. All right, so let's listen to some DX from Bahrain on medium wave. And you'll notice they don't end on zeros. Outside of the US and Canada and Mexico, they don't end on zeros. Because of the sensitivity of this radio, you could put it almost anywhere and it will come in. But frequencies do not end on zeros in Europe, Middle East, Africa,
good. It goes against us if we don't pay the price.
See, 1414, that wouldn't be a frequency here in the U.S.
We have got to.
هذا المجال الدرامي وقدرته على فهم المفاهيم المجردة.
Again, this is DX from Bahrain at night. Tom kindly made this video for us. And outside of the U.S., again, typically they will not end on the 10s, like, 1020, 1040, 1030, 1040, 1050. See what he's doing? 879. And Tom told me it's common for them there to hear BBC, to hear lots of different frequencies in English as well. Now he's at the bottom of the medium wave band going down to long wave. So now he's going to an area that the U.S. isn't familiar with. He's going towards the long wave part of the band. And now he's there. This is long wave. Anything below 530 kilohertz is long wave. And just hear how pure the audio comes from a 590 SG. It's beautiful. So that's Tom in Bahrain doing the hard stuff. That's DX work using Kenwood TS590 Sugar Golf. Tom, thank you. That's good stuff. Really is. It's great. If you have a radio that you like to do DX work and you're in shortwave or the medium wave hobby, right? You'd like to share it with the world, send me it. I'd love to be able to see it, and I'd love to share it with the world with you and share your work, because there's a lot of people around the world who do exactly that. You can email the show at cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. That's cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. I know Rod in West Salem is working on getting us a website. Tom, my gosh, Rod, thank you for that. Wow, it's pretty cool. If we can do that, if we can pull that off, that'd be amazing. Wow, that'd be just way amazingly cool. So anyway, that is Tom in Bahrain doing some great DX work all the way from the long wave band through the medium wave band and up into short wave. And this is where this book will help you so much. It really will, because you'll find out what you're listening to. Yeah, you'll find out exactly what it is, because it'll have the time that they transmit, it'll have the frequency, and it'll tell you what station it is. World Radio and Television Handbook. It's a little bit spendy, but you can find it over at Amazon or at your local bookstore. It's in its 75th anniversary. This book itself is over 660 pages long, and it's well worth it. If you like to DX, or you really like to hear, okay, so where's that station coming from? That's the book. That's the book you need to help you with that, okay? So find that either Amazon or at your local bookstore, okay? Also, want to get big news. Andy Cowley from Great Britain said, I worked South Africa on 10 meters today. Congratulations, Andy. That's a big one there. ZS on 10. Wow. Yep, I bet so. With the conditions being the way they are, when you've got a 78 for a solar flux index, that's really good. I mean, you should do fine on the normal frequency. So today on daytime bands, you're going to hit 20, 17, 15, maybe you might find a few mates on 12 and 10, but look at the E-skip. So 10's going to be open. So 10 meters, you're probably going to make some calls today on 10. Nighttime, probably the regular 160, 75, 80, 60, 40, and possibly 20, all right? But probably your best is going to be there on 40 meters. Just realize in North America and in the Northern Hemisphere, you're going to get more lightning strikes, so static crashes. And a great question came to the channel yesterday. It was through a comment, and it's something I haven't covered yet that I'd like to make sure and cover with you now. The question that came to me was, well, I don't get, I don't really have thunderstorms near me, yet I still get static crashes on my radio. Here's why. Because the HF spectrum is so big, and because you can hear things off the ionosphere, which goes, above the clouds, right? Wherever your radio can hear signals, it's going to be able to hear those huge discharges from lightning strikes. Very good question. It's a very good question, because the question from this young man was, I'm not sure exactly, I'm not sure why I'm getting these static crashes on my rig when I don't have any lightning in my area. It's simply because your radio is sensitive enough to pick up those lightning crashes from wherever it can hear signals. That's the reason why. Great question. Keep them coming. Yep, keep them coming. That's good stuff. We can all get better by learning from each other, that's for sure. John, welcome to the channel, made his first HF contact on 28.4. That's 10 meters from Las Vegas to Canada last week. His call sign, Kilo Juliet 7, India Delta Zulu. So John, thank you. That's great. 10 meters is opening up, and it'll get better as this solar cycle starts to really get some steam. Now we don't have much in it. It's just kind of puttering along, really. It's not getting any momentum, but once we start to really hit a good upswing, 10 meters can be wide open. John's call sign again is Kilo Juliet 7, November Delta Zulu. John, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming today. Yep, indeed. Yep, Gunter, same thing. Love the sound of Kenwoods. They're just like honey to the ears. Tom, for that video, was using MFJ's 1979 vertical antenna. All right, so what was it? And Tom, by the way, that noise you heard when he was on 380 kilocycles, which is long wave, it was a navigational beacon there. That's where it was. So if you wondered when he hit 380 kilohertz what was going on, that was it. It was just a navigational beacon. Thanks. That's good. Gunter's going to listen to some shortwave and medium wave later with his indoor bazooka vertical. That'll be brilliant. You'll do well with that. Sean is playing with some WSPR right now, trying to figure out propagation patterns from his QTH. Great for testing antenna propagation. Very, very good, Sean. Yep, very, very good. All right, so what are we doing here for the radio that got away? The one that you had that you're like, no. Why did I sell that doggone thing? By the way, congratulations to Ishmael. He's working right now at a survival camp on the air. Congratulations. My gosh, you honor us by coming. You're just here from survival camp? That's big news. Thanks, Ishmael. That's pretty sweet. Thanks for coming. I appreciate that. All right, so the radio that just got away from you. For me, it was the ICOM 756 Pro 3. I love that transceiver. Man, easy and fun to use. That was a fun radio to use. You got some radios that are kind of, that are easy. Okay. Like I'll put that the Flex Maestro, that's easy to use. It's really easy. You just touch it, and basically it does things by itself. You have knobs and buttons if you want to use them, but it's easy. The 756 Pro 3 was just fun. It was just really fun to use. That was one of my favorite rigs I ever had, was that. And also on the shortwave end, the Sony ICF-SW 2010, which you see over my shoulder here. That was actually the hardest radio I ever sold. In fact, I was balled in a little bit over that one because it was so hard to let the box go to the shipper, But it worked out okay. My wife surprised the crud out of me this Christmas by getting me another one. So that's very special. That's a really special shortwave radio right there. What's the one that you got away? How about the one that you got away, huh? Joe McConney is guessing on our trivia question. He's thinking it's 1972. Let's reread that question for you. The question is, in what year was the ASCII computer code first allowed for use by amateurs on the air? Think about it. This is the code that we use right now to use if we're using packet, right? If you're sending a message to somebody, anywhere around the world, right? You're using something to, computer code to be able to send that. Now, when was that OK on ham radio to do? Do you know? Hit me up in the comment section. I think you might just be a little surprised on this. He's saying it's 72, and we'll let you know when somebody answers that question correctly, all right? All right. Going through comments here and trying to see what y'all are doing. In fact, Gunter asks, Ishmael, what were you doing in a survival camp? That might be right there the question of the day right there.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
Yeah. Ishmael had his HF on portable. Okay, so that's what he's doing. Pretty cool stuff. That's really neat. Andy Kelly, tough one to him to let go of was his IC718. That's a very good transceiver. And, it's a radio that had a long heritage as well. It really did. Let's take a look. We'll get a quick little snippet view of the IC718 by ICOM. ICOM has a really good tradition of transceivers that they keep for a long time. The 7600 was probably one of those ones that it didn't make sense in terms of, it was one of the ones that they didn't keep very long. It was from 2012 to 2017. It's only 5 years on the 7600, but the reason why was because they were switching to SDRs, and the 7610 was the one that came in today. Again, the trivia question for today is, in what year was the ASCII computer code first allowed for use by amateurs on the air? And you can take a look at those choices you can make right there, right? 1970. So it was 1970 the first year that it was able to be used. Was it 1972? Boy, that seems like so long ago. That was the year I first started doing DX. So a long time ago. Was it 1976? That was a big year in the U.S. Fireworks like crazy on 4th of July. It was our bicentennial year. Or was it 1980? Hit me up in the comments section of the show, and I will make sure and let you know, okay? That'd be pretty darn cool. So we'd be happy to have you let us know on that, all right? So, yeah, and Gunter, the IC718 is definitely a keeper. It is. It was a very good radio. It was one of those transceivers, I think, that was pretty basic, kind of like the 7200, easy to use. It was really a fine radio for that. And it was small. Let me show you how small this was. It's not a huge radio. It's actually, when you think of it, it's kind of almost like the size of a 7300. It's fairly close, but it's does really well on sensitivity. Sensitivity on that radio is very good. Selectivity's not as high as some of the 7300s, 7610s, 7600s, but it was great for what it was. Really good. Let's take a look, and we'll get you a picture of it so you can see what that was. Here is the ICOM IC718 that Andy's talking about that he regrets getting rid of. Look, not very big, right? But look how cool that is. Easy to put in your knapsack, your backpack, wherever, right? Easy to take with you. Excuse me, give you a good idea of just the size of it. Take a look at how big the microphone jack is on the far left and the headphone jack. So that's a 1/4-inch jack for your headphone. And you've got just basic, get your, RF squelch and your AF knob there. You've got your RIDI control, so your RID control, so you can, tune in those stations that are slightly off frequency. And you've got your IF shift. Pretty cool. And basically all the buttons you need right there in a small box. But brilliant, because you could take that rig anywhere. Perfect for portable work. Andy, thank you. That's a great radio and a really good one, too. I can see why you miss it. I can see why. Yeah, 718 was really, really good. All right, so what else we got here? The radio got away. Tom in Bahrain, he says, the radio that got away was the ICOM R9000. He gave it away. Did you really, Tom? You gave it away? Good for you, man. Wow, that was very nice. There's a receiver, but that's still pretty cool. Let's take a look at that. It's the R900 by ICOM, and 9000. I said 900. I'm a little. I got to tell you something. I've got this in the brain today, and you'll find out why. Because I've got a thing at the end of the show that is about credit card scammers. Okay, scammers that rip you off. Both in, they tell you they're like here to fix your computer, or that you have a virus, or that they're Social Security, those guys that call, right? Or the vehicle warranty, right? Okay, so I've got people that do that, that are older, that get taken advantage of. And I worry about that in the ham hobby, because that's we're at the age where some folks in the ham hobby live by themselves, and they think it sounds real. They really do. So at the end of the show, we're going to have a segment on that where we're going to show you what somebody who's really good at doing computers, much better than I ever will be, but brilliant at it, to stop scammers from doing what they're doing. And we'll show you, he'll give you warnings of what to look for, and he'll also show you a really neat thing that he did. And I think for what I saw in that, it really was brilliant. And I want to share it with you. So if you do get those calls, right? You get those calls that, hey, your Social Security has been compromised and there's a warrant out for your arrest, yada, yada, yada. If you're not familiar with a scam, that's what we get here in the U.S., a lot of it. We're going to talk to you about that today, and we're going to share some information about that with you as well. So it'll help you fight these scammers that might be trying to attack you and take your money, okay? This is really important stuff, and this guy is so good. And the reason I said 900 versus 9,000 is because for the last 2 days, I've literally been listening to this guy doing these shows where he talks about these these things happening. And it's a scary, scary thing. I'm trying to get a picture of this up for you, and it's not doing too well, so I'll just show you that. There you go. There's 9,000. An ICOM R9000 receiver. That is it. Pretty darn cool. Tom, thank you very much for doing that, and thanks for sharing. That's pretty darn sweet. I know a lot of shortwave folks that love to have that. Wow. Yep, R9000. Pretty cool. Nice receiver from ICOM. Thank you, Tom, for doing that. You helped somebody else out, and that's pretty sweet. Jim is back from Walnut Creek, California. Welcome back, Jim. Good to see you. His call sign is Whiskey 6. Juliet, India Mike, he says his 857 Delta do everything rig. He sold it and ended up buying another one a few years later. This rig will always have a place in his shack. That's sweet, Jim. That's awesome, man. All right. Hopefully that's going to show up, because the last one certainly didn't. So we'll get the Yaesu 857 Delta up and let you guys see that one for people who don't know. Because, what I like about what Jim did was he replaced it. And we often do that, right? With the one that got away or the one we hated to get rid of, right? We try and get it again because we just remember the feelings. So, yeah, that's pretty sweet. So 857 Delta, we'll get a shot of it here hopefully for you and be able to share it with you on the show today. And by the way, happy Sunday to you. We'll be coming tomorrow with a great meet and greet. For anybody interested in maybe an amplifier or an antenna, something from MFJ, Richard Stubbs from MFJ is going to join me on the channel live at 2030 UTC tomorrow, taking your questions live. So if you have questions about any MFJ product, whether it be Ameritron from their amplifier division, or high gain Cushcraft from their antenna division, or maybe something about their noise cancelers or their their chokes, or possibly their antenna tuners, whatever it might be, MFJ. He'll be able to help you with that, all right? Join us for that tomorrow, okay? That's going to be at 2030 UTC for Richard Stubbs from MFJ. Looking forward to having him come on the show and join us. It'll be fun. Yep. All right, so I think this thing shows. I hope it comes up. This should be the 857. There it is. Yeah, there is the Yaesu 857D. Beautiful. Look at that. Easy to use. You know, I mean, I'm one of the old-fashioned guys, right? Give me a knob and give me a volume control, and then I'll be okay. Just give me a knob to tune it and give me a volume control. So VFO and volume. And then it'd be nice to have, of course, the RF gain knob always. But still, you can work a lot with that because I worked a lot of DX with rigs that had just a knob and a volume control and an RF gain knob. That was all I had. And they worked brilliantly around the world for me. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was good stuff. Jim, thank you. Yeah, good radio for sure. For sure. James Stanley, the Marconi R105 or 107, not sure of the number on that. Wow, that's a long time ago. Let's take a look at that. The Marconi, let's take a look and see if we can find one of them for you. Let's say R105, we'll find out. Because that's one I'm not familiar with, so I can't tell you anything about that one. That is one I honestly do not know, sir. Let's find out. Marconi R105. Let's see if we can find something on that. R105. Is there anything there? Marconi radio. No. Marconi mobile radio. I'm not seeing anything there, buddy. I'm not. That one's tough. You got me stumped. By goodness sakes, you got me stumped, which means you, sir, James Stanley, are a super genius.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
That's funny. Now, hold on. Is it the Marconi 1980? Hold on. I'll take a look because I'm interested in finding out. These are things that, I like to learn about too. Yeah, absolutely. We can't possibly know everything. So and I don't know a lot about anything. So there you go. I'm just trying to give you a good show. All right. Let's see. Marconi 1980. Buddy, I'm not seeing it. I just don't see anything on that, Jim. I'm sorry. You completely stumped me. Congratulations. You got me, buddy. Gunter, sitting in the box underneath my bed couch. The IC718 is his backup radio. My brother says his radio that's missing is the D. Yes, I remember that, Bob. Yes. You remember the time, Bob, you and Bobby Avance took the D down to the river? Do you remember that? And you guys were getting in shenanigans over there, and then the park security came over, and I'm just playing with my brother here live. That's just all I do. I do it all the time. You see, Bobby Avance was his friend, right, when he was growing up. He's 10 years older than I. There's no way I was old enough to know what he did when he was little with Bobby Avance. Anyway, I always say, remember the time you and Bobby Avance used to do this? And there's no story. I just make it up, and it just goes from there. So there you go. Ishmael, ICOM 9100, best rig to get. Okay. All right. Well, good, Ishmael. I'm glad you like it. That's good. That's good. Hi, Nikolai, joining us from Romania. That's great stuff. Romania is in the house. My gosh, Nikolai, thank you for coming to the channel today. Today's question is, what's the one transceiver or radio? So if you're in shortwave, it was the receiver. If you're in ham, it'd be the transceiver. They got away. The one you just really miss. The one you wish you wouldn't have sold. Okay? Alex Alonso, hello and welcome back to the channel. It's nice to see you, my friend. Thank you. Yep. Wendy, you've come back. Oh, Wendy, it's great to see you. Her call sign is Whiskey 4 Lima Sierra. Wendy, thank you for coming today. Appreciate it very much. Tom said, got on a trade for Yaesu Handy Talkie. There you go. Fred Durant joins us from Belfair, Washington. His call sign, Kilo Golf 7, Whiskey Echo, Quebec. Gosh darn, Fred almost got all the way out that time right. It's great to see you too, buddy. It really is. Kevin's here. Mike 0, Mike Charlie Lima. It's a big old clap for him. He misses ICOM 7600 partial exchange for FTDX 101MP. He loves this rig, but he wishes he would have kept the 7600. Now, I'd had that on the computer, right? I did. I had the 7600, but unfortunately, I got rid of it because I needed space. Otherwise, the computer would stop working. So we've shown that a few times, but we'll show it again because it's one of the radios I still want. And we have sold one of the rigs here that we're going to be one of the rigs here is sold, so it's going to be a different rig you'll see on the channel. And it's going to be fun because I'm looking forward to showing you a different rig as well, which will be nice. And I think one of the joys about that is, for me, at least, being able to show you something different. And, you know, when you have a chance to do that, you have a chance to show people something that is, I think, maybe a little bit of variety, right? We all need a little variety in our lives, and this is something in my way of doing that. So a little frustrated with what happened with the manufacturer, but, you know, that's the way life goes. And I don't want to get into that, but I will tell you that we are changing manufacturers here on what you see, because on any YouTube channel, and I've been told this by a couple of manufacturers, at least a couple, what you show on your YouTube channel helps sell product. It does. It helps sell product. Unfortunately, there's a large ham radio manufacturer in the world that doesn't realize that. And because there's, I guess, 450 more subscribers on another YouTube channel, even though I've requested this large company named Yaesu to come on this show twice in a year to talk to you and answer your questions live about Yaesu products. And even though I've spent over $11,700 brand new on Yaesu gear in the last 3 years, I was told no. I was told that subscriber count matters to them. So they're going on a channel next week that has 450 more subscribers.
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
450 more. That's it. So I'm sorry. I tried to bring Yaesu, really did. But here's my answer to Yaesu. If I don't have enough subscribers for you to come on my channel, I suppose I don't have enough subscribers to show your product then. Enjoy your day. ICOM is on the way to Ham Radio Live. Yep. So, Kevin, that's where we'll show that one, because doggone, I like that radio too. Here's the 7600. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. It's gorgeous. Single VFO. It had dual watch. Okay, this preceded the 7610. So it had dual watch, and you could change the meter up top from the bar graph to, you know, the regular analog looking graph. But it was beautiful, and what a great screen. I mean, this looks so much like the 7610, it would blow your mind. This is the ICOM 7600, and it was truly a special transceiver. Maybe I'll get one of those instead. Maybe I'll finally get that. That would be great. I'd love that. IT guys in the house from California. His call sign Kilo 6 Union, India. Great to see you. And James, ex-military, RX very... Okay, so that's why. Okay, so it's ex-military stuff. Scott, Kilo Charlie 2, Charlie Alpha Delta, dusting off his 10-Tech Scout 555, and that is easy to use. I've not used one, but I have seen it in use, and that's a beautiful rig, man, really. Hey, I've reached out, by the way, to 10-Tech, and we're waiting to get back on that. Maybe we'll have one to show you on their current products, so hopefully we will. Martin is here at work from the Netherlands, working that night shift, but joining us here, and I once said it was Marvin Gaye, and I listen, go, Larry, you're an idiot. You're in radio. You played that song 5 million times. It's done by the Commodores. My apologies. The Night Shift. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Commodore's Night Shift. Martin's call sign, Papa Echo 9 Tango India Golf. Martin, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Robert Sabato is here from hot northern New Jersey. His call sign is Kilo 2 Whiskey Romeo Delta. Robert, our honor and privilege is to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, I love your name. Kevin O'Dublian. Is that right? He says, mine was the Yaesu FT1000 MP when it was released. Would have loved to own at that time. Yeah. You know, Kevin, here's the thing. On Yaesu, on those, okay? You can get that rig still good at like $1,000 to $1,200. And it's a great rig. It's a great rig, man. If you're into ESSB, right, you can move out the transmit bandwidth and you could really get some good sound out of it. Really good sound. Just make sure the caps have been replaced and the right stuff has been done. And there are people out there who have had them gone through. Look for one of those, man. Seriously, you can get one that's like brand new still. And instead of spending the money they cost brand new, you can get one at a really reasonable price. The Yaesu FT back then, FT1000 MP, and it was in the Mark V field. It was in the MP. It was the regular 1000, and they really had a big one there. Then they made the 2000, which didn't go very well. It just didn't. Then the 9000 came out, and that one kind of was so expensive that most people couldn't afford it. Then the 5000 came out, and that did okay. It was cheaper in price. It released. Do you realize the 5000 released over $6,500? It's only come down over the years, but it released at $6,500, right? So then they came out with the 3000, and then the 3000 was just dropped here last year. So yeah, great legacy. The 1000 is a wonderful radio. Let me show it to you real quick, because what he's talking about is pretty darn cool. And you're talking the MP, right? Yeah, MP. Okay. Because there is a difference. There really is. If you get like a Mark V field versus an MP, it's very different. Or I should say, the 1000 versus the MP. They're different. Okay, so let me get you an image of it so you can see it. The Yaesu 1000 was really quite innovative. In fact, here's one here on eBay right now for $1,082. Yeah. Okay, it was a big radio. These are where we got kind of like the boat anchor, boat anchor name tag for radios. Anyway, these were so good though. And like the radio I have back here, which is another product, is every time I think I'm going to say that name, I'm going to have a problem with it. Yaesu product is covered up there. So anyway, that's one of them, and it's just it's one of the things. But the 1000 is good, and if you get one with the cap, like I said, caps replaced and everything, man, you got a brilliant piece of kit. Take a look. Here it is. This is the Yaesu FT 1000 Mark V. This is the Mark V field, but it's the MP model. So same thing. Beautiful rig. This is a beautiful rig. I can see why you'd want one, because look at all the controllability from bandwidth to noise reduction to notch. It's all right there. It's beautiful. And Kevin, I thank you very much for your addition. Thank you. Thanks. That's good. Kev, thank you. Yep. All right, so let me see what we got. A little bit more red. So I have made enough for a new rig catch side between the FTX10 or the FTX101D, keeping the FT991A. I will not sell it. Yeah, I wouldn't sell the 991A. I wouldn't sell that. You know what I do? Here's what I do. Do you have a good antenna? I mean, do you have a really good antenna? Here's why. Don't get stuck on just those radios. I mean, I get it, but there are other good radios out there in that same price range or less. There are. Take a look at what you can buy and what you can have left over in the bank, Fred. That's all. I'm just trying to help you. If you can get a better antenna, like for example, maybe you can get a better antenna and a rig. I don't know. But those are good radios. Honestly, they are good radios. It's just too bad the companies are run by people that just don't quite get it. You know what I mean?
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
Yeah. Kevin, rig I regret was the FTDX 101. I'm not sure which one that is, buddy. I've never heard of that one. The FTDX 101 ZD Mark III. I'm not sure on that one. I really don't. Never seen that one. His call sign is a great radio of his kind. Golf 0 Union Delta Golf. Sorry. Yeah, I got it right. Golf 0 Union Delta Golf. The eyes are still bad. Sorry about that. Thanks for coming, Kev. Man, you're getting old when... Yeah, it's one of those times. All right, so let me see if I can find that, because I'll look. I'm cool with that. The 101... Hang on. This is one of those times where you have to kind of fly by the seat of your pants because you don't know what people are going to say. And it's tough. So, hold on. And you are correct. Hold on. Let me find it. Here we go. Images. And we'll get a picture because that's cool. I've never seen one. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. That's really, I like that. Hey, hold on. Take a look at this. If you haven't seen one, this reminds me, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a lot of the DX gear I've used before in the past. It does. Some of the DX receivers, not, transceivers, but DX receivers. So, Kevin, thank you for that. This is a good one. I love it. I love what you just said here. This is good. Let's take a look at Kevin's. This is the FT101 Zelta Dead. Sorry, did I say that wrong? Sorry. Z Delta. And I can see, look at this. This is so cool, ham radio cool. Check this out. Doesn't it look kind of like a, it does. I mean, I personally, now I could be wrong, but I can see an awful lot of heritage here, you know, from some of the old Drakes, right? If you take a look here real carefully, there's a lot of heritage here. Look at that. These are some of the radios that were really special back in the day. I could see why that's important to you. Kevin, thank you for this. Hey, I love this. This is something new to me. So thank you. This one means a lot. Take a look on the left. It has power and it has heater. See that on the left? Take a look below the 4 knobs on the left side, top left, and then take a look below that. 2 switches, power and heater. That's pretty sweet, man. And you got your plate adjustment, your plate voltage right there for that because it had tubes. Kevin, thank you. You know what? Seriously, thank you for that. That's a good send, and that's one I'll appreciate always. That's a good one. I want to look at that when I get done. I will. I'll look at it. Fred, all the way in Delaware, of course. It is dun da da Kenwood. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And Gunter, we've talked about this one before. It's IC751A fully filtered with everything. He had all the filters and the TXCO to keep the oscillator solid. So it kept everything on frequency, didn't have any drift because he put the TXCO in there, which is pretty cool. Radios today don't really need those. They just don't need a TXCO, especially software defined. You don't need that stuff. But, you know, in some super heads that are still sold, you can still get TXCOs for them, which is essentially it's an oscillator that's set up in your radio to make sure that you stay stable on frequency, fully locked on. You're not going to have frequency drift, okay? Today's radios are so good and so well advanced, you really don't have to worry about that so much. So that's something, though, that in the past, they were important because radios did tend to drift. And if you've ever listened to somebody, sometimes on frequency, right, you'll be there, say you're at 7155. Okay, and all of a sudden, the guy doesn't sound like he's on 7155, but he's also not in 7155, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, or 0.1. And you're like, wait, what's going on here? That's when you use your RIT, right? Using your RIT control because you're trying to bring him up incrementally. That's when you hear him better because his frequency's drifted a little bit. That's why. That's why TXCOs exist, because that's the way radios used to be. But now things are much better than that. And because of that, we don't have that problem. But in the old days, they sure did. Yeah, let's get a picture of Gunter's rig real quick. We'll show that. And this is a really special old icon. It really is. This is back in the days when having digital was cool. Digital displays. It sounds weird to say that, doesn't it? Digital display. Wow. There was a time when that was really drop dead gorgeous cool. And this is kind of in that heritage where it was. You know, having that digital display was cool because we all had the analog the dial, right? Used to the analog dial. Or we had the long dial. Remember, we had the round one or the long one. Either way, right? But then we got digital. And digital was cool because it's like, hey, man, this is accurate. Look at this. I can go 0.5 now, and I know I'm there. This is kind of that time frame. Let's take a look at Gunter's rig here because this is pretty darn special. Here's Gunter's 751A, and he loaded it out. He's got all the options it is, and he regrets selling it. It's tough to do. Yeah, that's tough to do. So, Nikolai, he said, I've never sold any shortwave receivers yet, but I might have to sell my Super Tech SR16DN, which is equivalent to an R-list. Oh, really? That's the same as the realistic DX440. Those were great receivers to buy some AM equipment, low budget at the moment. You know what? I get that, Nikolai. I get that. Wow. DX440 was a great receiver. It was. I mean, for Radio Shack, that's a really good receiver. You know, they had the DX400, the DX300, the DX400, the DX440. They were really good receivers. They looked very much like the Sony behind me, but they were just laid out different. And they really were great. I mean, there was a time when you'd walk down the aisle at Radio Shack and all those radios were there. You could just, you know, listen to the world. It was pretty darn cool. So, yeah, Sean, Kevin, I agree on the 1000 MP. Wish I could have one of those. Yeah. I had one for a little while. It was a beautiful radio. It was. Yeah. Kevin said MP Mark V 200 watt version. Very good. Yeah, very good. I'd like to try the 9,400 watt version for a day to see if I can have fun with it. That'd be fun. Who knows? Scott, never have sold one either, although I do have a few given to me, and one day I'll return the favor. Yes. That's so important. You know, hams are good at helping people out. They are. They're real good at, you know, saying, okay, what do you need? I need a rig. Okay, what do you want? And that's it, right? We give them a radio, we send it to them, and if someone does that, if you're the recipient, pay the shipping. That's the least you can do. Don't expect the person to give you the radio and pay to ship it. That's just not the right thing to do. So do the right thing and pay for the shipping, and then you're going to be happy you did that. And the person that's giving you something of value that could have sold it for money instead is giving it to you to help you get on the air. And that's a good thing. So just say, look, I'll cover the shipping. If you'll do this, it would mean the world to me. Thank you. And it makes all the difference in the world. That's how hams are really good at paying it forward. Okay? Yeah. Sean, do you think Ken will ever visit the show? I have lots of questions for them. I would love to. I've reached out to Kenwood on a couple of occasions. Problem has been getting something back from them. That's really been the problem for me. It's a little different reaching to Kenwood than it is to other companies. It just has been. Kenwood's a little bit, it's like you have to go through a company page, right? So I'm going to try a different way to do that. So there's a different way. I'm going to go that direction and see if I can get someone. Because I'd love to have someone from Kenwood on the channel as well. I really would. I would have loved to have someone from Yaesu come on. I was stunned, absolutely stunned that they didn't. More, I guess not stunned they didn't, but stunned they went on to another YouTube channel like anyway with only 450 more subscribers. That was very disappointing. So, Rod Clare, yep, his babies, his granddaughters are there right beside him. That's pretty darn cool. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. That's very special. Yep. His 857D, so Jim's 857D and a TXCO, pretty darn cool. Let's see. Hi, Larry. Roger M. 12,000 watch from Union City, California. It's Roger Kilo Delta 6 Whiskey Charlie Hotel. Hello to you, and doggone, it was good to talk to you when we were on the air. That was a nice call. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you. Lizzie says Ken was supposedly working on SDR. We'll see. Keeps his 890 and his 590 Sugar Golf. It'd be nice. I think that would be a really good sign, Fred, for people on ham radio to see that Kenwood's serious about staying in ham radio. I think part of the stigma is really that they haven't developed one yet. That's part of the stigma. But if anybody has the funds to do it, my gosh, Kenwood does. They're with Panasonic, JVC. They've got so much under their umbrella to help them. So I totally agree. I am so behind Kenwood staying in this hobby. All right, folks, we've been here for, wow, over an hour. I want to thank you for coming to the channel today. We're looking at Richard Stubbs tomorrow at 20:30 UTC. We have test questions. We're modifying that starting tomorrow. The test questions will start Mondays at the very beginning. Okay, so expect Monday and Wednesdays. We will have the beginning licenses in both the U.S. and the U.K. So that'll be Technician U.S. In the UK, it's called the Foundation. All right. Then on Tuesdays, we're going to have the Next Level Up, which in the US is the General, and in the United Kingdom, it's called the Intermediate License. So that'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Fridays, we're going to have full Advanced Friday. So we'll have your full license, so the Amateur Extra, that's your Amateur Extra test questions and answers. And in the UK, your Advanced questions and answers. Please join us. It'll be at 20 UTC or thereabouts. I'll try and get as close as I can. It just depends on the schedule, okay? And on tomorrow's show, going to be a big one at 20:30. So right in the middle of the show, after the test questions, Richard Stubbs from MFJ will be coming to answer your questions about everything MFJ, whether it be MFJ or Ameritron amplifiers, could be about high gain antennas, Cushcraft antennas, could be about noise cancelers or antenna tuners. Join us tomorrow at 20:30 UTC for Mr. Richard Stubbs. And today's sign off is going to be special. By the way, before I go any further, I want to thank you for being on the channel and for coming here. It bothered me when Yaesu did what they did. It really did. It bothered me because I took it as an insult to you, not me. You know what? You know I don't take this seriously. You know I do it because I enjoy doing it and give back. I don't monetize it. I don't get a dime for doing it. But when you spend over $11,700 with a company and you ask them to please come on your show to talk about their products in the middle of a pandemic where ham fairs are closed around the world to answer questions from people from all over the world. And they tell you, I'm sorry, subscriber counts really do matter to us. And, as such, because of that, we're going a different direction. Really? Okay. That person had 450 more subscribers. I took that as a real slap in the face. I've shown Yaesu products on this channel for over 1 year. Literally, since I opened up a Yaesu FTDX 101 MP. Then I started the shows in August. Nearly every show was with the Yaesu product. And I'm really sorry, Yaesu, that you run that way. Because I believe somewhere up higher that's not the Yaesu way. I don't think that the founder of Yaesu ever wanted it to be run that way. I think you have excellent products. I think your customers deserve better than that. And I don't believe that subscriber count is the be-all, end-all in YouTube. The content matters. And if the content is there, if you're good enough to come on to a show, people will watch because it's you that's coming on. And they get a chance to answer, have their questions answered. And because of that, Yaesu, I am really sorry for you. Because that's not the way that ICOM is run. And it's not the way that Elecraft is run. It's not the way that Flex Radio is run. It isn't. It's not the way ham radio is. Your arrogance precedes you. You're too good to come on this channel, but you come on another one? 450 more people. So these people can't ask you questions? You should be ashamed of yourself for that. I thought I'd end with that today. ICOM, here we come. Until tomorrow, 20 UTC. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. The very best to you and your family in health, happiness, and joy. God bless you all. Enjoy the sign off. It's for our friend Will, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike. After this, remember a big, well, it's like 18 minutes, but it's about protecting yourself from scammers who call you on the phone. The average age of ham radio is over 70 years old. 70 years old. Believe me, 70. So these people are being preyed on. They are. They're being preyed on right now by people in other countries who try and get your money. I want you to see this video. It'll help you be safe. Please join me after the sign off. I'll come up with a separate little segment on that, so I hope it helps you. And by the way, Kevin, or was it Kevin? No, sorry, IT guy. I talked with the National Sales Manager, John Kruk. John Kruk, National Sales Manager. You don't get much higher than that. So that's the head guy. But we're going to send a letter to Japan now, and we're going to let them know what happened. Not because I want to be a jerk, but because I don't think any ham radio manufacturer should be run that way. Nobody should do that to somebody. Because in the middle of a pandemic, the one thing you need to do is get the word out about your products. And if you're going to be closed-lipped enough, then you're not going to come on this channel, then you don't go on any channels. Right? Right. Oh, there you go. But to do it to a customer, it's about over 11 grand worth of your gear in 3 years. Says a lot about the company, doesn't it? See you tomorrow, 20 UTC. Enjoy the sign-off. It's WTMJ. When they went from analog to digital, we saw it all in the U.S. in 2009. Here it is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, along with an engineer that was there when the show began. Way back. When I say the show begins, I mean began. Way back in 1947. This is a special moment. For my friend William, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike, enjoy it. Sign off from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. See you tomorrow at 20 UTC. God bless you and goodbye, everybody.
Well, if you are not hooked up for digital television, you're about to find out. An historic moment is upon us here at today's TMJ4. In just a few moments, we'll discontinue programming on our analog signal. Today's TMJ4, like every television station in the country, will be shutting down our old transmitter. We'll hit the switch in about 2 or 3 minutes. Here's the guy helping us make that switch. His name is George Kasdorf. He's a retired engineer from today's TMJ4 who helped put this television station on the air for the first time. That was way back in 1947. Mr. Kasdorf has temporarily come out of retirement to help us in this historic moment. And if you're not ready for the switch, you're going to know. If your television is not equipped to handle our digital signal, you'll lose this program, and you'll see a graphic with some telephone numbers to call for help. These folks at our studios here on Capitol Drive are ready to take your calls. Our phone bank is up and running and will remain so today until 7 o'clock. As I referenced earlier, WTMJ television first fired up the transmitter and began broadcasting in 1947. A lot of things have happened around here since then, and it's been our goal and our duty to bring those events into your homes. You may recognize some of these faces from this news open that debuted in 1982. But we went on air long before that. We experimented with a closed-circuit TV station back in the 1930s. But then World War II stopped the production of TVs. On December 3rd, 1947, our transmitter went on the air for the first time. Over the years, we've covered historic news events: the politically charged Milwaukee 14, the riots of 1967. We've also covered Wisconsin sports from the beginning, the beloved Milwaukee Braves. Perhaps less memorable, but, well, certainly interesting, something we dug up called table bowling. We also produced a variety of shows over the years, including something called Hot Shot. And who out there remembers when Samson the Gorilla was just a baby? Color TV, stereo TV, HD TV, extraordinary advances in the technology of television over the years, and the digital revolution is upon us. For this historic moment, we send it into our Master Control Center, and Scott Steele is standing by there. Scott, with our special guest.
Vinny, I'll tell you what, this is truly historic, and rarely in life do you get an opportunity to witness up close what is truly a historic moment, and that's what's going to happen right here in just a few minutes. You know, we have been undergoing a massive change, a massive upgrade in operations here throughout Journal Communications, and you are right now looking at master control operations where everything has been converted in the last 12 months or more to digital television, which is a better signal and will be able to provide you higher quality broadcasts. But the man who remembers what it was like in the beginning, remember all that fuzzy stuff with ghosts and things on your screen? George Kasdorf. He was the second engineer hired back in 1947, and we went on the air December 3rd of that same year, so just less than a month later. You remember the switch being flipped?
Yes, I remember the day. Yeah, that day, our mic boom came in, and so I worked all day putting it together, and so we used it that evening for the ceremonies.
What was it like back in those days? We'll look at some pictures in a moment from your album that you brought in, but it was fascinating to see. Everything was bigger, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, and it was made like military equipment. You know, they were like suitcases, although they were kind of heavy with the big transformers and the tubes and everything. And we'd started out after we got on the air, like on Thursday, it was wrestling night. So we had a program in the lobby at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and maybe 3:30 we'd haul that camera, and we had 2 cameras. And we'd haul that out to a truck. We didn't have a remote truck either.
And George, you know what? We'll talk more about that in a moment, but we've got just about 30 seconds until we're going to make that switch. I'd like to have you come right over here, walk right in front of me, and you're going to be pressing the button over here. You know what you're going to be doing?
Oh, yes.
They've given you the rehearsal?
I rehearsed.
All right, here we go. Let's have the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And look at that. We have gone from analog and digital to now exclusively a digital signal here throughout southeastern Wisconsin. A historic moment. George, we'll talk more with you in just a second, but I'd like to bring in Steve Wexler.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name is Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Millions and millions of dollars every year are taken from senior citizens around our country. This is a scam bait business as well, where people try to knock the scammers out. If you'd like to see more content about the work being done by private citizens throughout our country who are working so hard to try and fight these scammers and get them in enough trouble that they end up in jail and close down their businesses, let me know. I have a lot of content that I can show you on that. This is a program that I can show you about a victory. This is an elderly woman who literally lost over $30,000 to scammers who tried to reach her and did, scared her, and made her believe that she had to go out and buy gift cards to be able to pay for things. She just didn't know any better. These people prey typically on elderly individuals. And since the ham radio population now is over 70 years old, I think this is important for you all to see it. This gentleman, he goes by the name of Pierogi. He's got a great YouTube channel. I'll have that listed in the comments section of this video in the description. But this is about a victory. He also talks about warnings when you receive these calls, exactly what to do, because he'll show you exactly what the scammer is doing when you don't know it. Here's Pierogi.
Hey guys, this is Pierogi with Scammer Payback, and we've got the conclusion of the Susan videos. When I got into scam baiting about a year ago, I had no idea that I would even be introducing this video. I always thought it was just sitting behind a computer and doing some silly jokes and making people laugh and wasting scammers' time. And while that's a component of this whole thing, the end goal, and I've been saying this a lot on my streams, is to protect people. There are countless victims out there that they still don't even know that they've been scammed. And then some finally come to that realization, but it's too late. When we met Susan, when I knew I was sending that check to Susan, I knew I was sending a check to a victim, 100%. But I think that this series is bringing a lot of visibility into what happens on that other side, and especially on the victim side. These people's lives are ruined. You've heard the stories. And when you look at someone like a Susan who's alone and by herself, it becomes a very emotional thing for me. I think about how scammers tried to scam my grandmother, and she had no idea, you know. So what you're about to see is saving one life, turning one life around. And I never knew I would be a part of something like this, something so great. I really didn't. And I'm so proud to present this video today with the Trilogy team. And go check out their video as well. This has been life-changing for me. I will continue to put all my efforts behind this to help out people from becoming scammed or people who have been victims. I'll try my very best to save every single person one at a time. And the last thing I will say is I'm dedicating this video to my grandfather who passed away this morning. He was a very, very good man and the inspiration for my Arthur character and the voice and everything. So, love you, Grandpa. And let's get into it.
Ready, brother? Let's do it, man.
This is deja vu right here. That's the conversation we had right here.
Unbelievable.
Susan, thank God you're home.
Hi, Susan.
This is Trilogy Media, Scammer Payback. Trilogy Media is here.
Remember us?
Yes, I do.
How are you?
How are you?
Doing good.
Do you mind come outside? We have something for you. We want to give you something. Well, remember our friend being on the phone when we were in the speaker?
This is me. I was the gentleman on the phone when we talked, and I flew out here last night from the East Coast to come see you with the wonderful guys from Trilogy.
He's the one who sent you package that unfortunately was empty, but we were trying to catch the John Kudo.
Has he,
Well, guys, go ahead.
bothered you at all since?
He hasn't called me once.
Good.
That's good. Well,
We have a card for you.
Yes.
Yaesu, we never thought we would have met you in the first place, and definitely never thought we'd be back a second time. Your story not only broke our hearts, but was the first time our communities have ever come face to face with a victim of these horrific scams that have been fighting for so long. Not only has your story touched our lives, but has touched the lives of millions of people around the world. Over the last 4 weeks, we have brought the communities of Scammers, Payback, and Trilogy Media together and asked for help to repair some of the damage that was caused by John Kudo and his criminal organization. Last time we came, we were hoping for a check that never showed up, but today, thanks to our generous scam baiting community, there is a check for you. Hopefully this will help you pick up the pieces and shed this burden from your life once and for all. Much love and God bless you. Scammers Payback Trilogy.
Susan, we started GoFundMe for you.
Did you really?
We were not expecting anything.
Yeah.
Your story broke our heart.
Oh.
And Susan, we have, thanks to our communities, $32,800 for you.
You gotta be kidding.
We gonna show you.
They took from you, and it's horrific what they did. And our communities have come together, and
This is GoFundMe page to restore for Susan Rebuild. We're going to tell you the details how you're gonna get this money. $32,802 waiting for you for all these 2 years.
The last 4 weeks we've been
for 4 weeks
promoting that.
The world got together and your story touched so many hearts.
1,500 people donated.
No kidding.
And all your pension that you've been paying for 2 years to restore that money that all these bastards, criminals took from your account, you have your money back.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. This is the least that we can do. This is for you.
Gorgeous. You guys didn't have to go to all that.
No,
the least you can do. You're worth it, and you're an amazing human being. And
Thank you.
We left that day just in tears.
My dog has to have surgery next week, and so there goes all the money I've tried to save, up until that time. So it's like.
well, we hope that this can help relieve some of that burden.
Oh, God.
And this is very emotional to me as well because it bothers me that they do this to people. And we have an army of people that are going to fight back on your behalf. So we're watching over you, and you have thousands of angels around you to lift you up here. So thank you for sharing your story with the world. Thank you so much. One of the things I'd like to also offer up, because I am fairly technical on computers, if you want me to make sure that he's not on your computer.
He's a genius. He's the one who's tracking all these scammers.
Yeah,
he's a cybersecurity expert.
Yeah, I work in cybersecurity myself, so if you want me to, I can certainly, with all due respect, if you want me in your house or not, that's totally fine. But if you want me to work on your computer, I certainly can, and make sure that he's not on there.
Yeah.
Because if he's somehow watching or whatever, watching what you're doing without you noticing.
Yeah.
If you trust us, which I wish you are, maybe you can bring computer and give to Pierogi, and he will check that there is no any lead. We will put protection bubble that there is not any rat in the world will touch your money again.
You guys just blew me away. It's a desktop, so you'd have to come in to...
Only if that's okay with you, Susan.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll put my mask on.
Yeah, just to keep you safe here.
Thank you for trusting us. You broke our heart. We're leaving your house literally in tears, and we're driving back to Los Angeles, and I was like, we starting GoFundMe.
We have to find a way.
We have to find a way. Even if we get $10, $100, we never expected that the humanity, it's like your grandmother, like where I came from, we all came from, we have respect for elderly people, and that could have happened to our family, what happened to you.
Yeah.
I see he's got his toll-free number on here.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Oh, wow, really?
Take that off so you don't see that number again. That's the first thing I feel good after that.
I probably know it by heart as many times as I called. But every time they said they was going to get money, it's always a different story. Something's happened, And then he told me when I was going to get like $16,000, I said, oh, that's wonderful. And then the next time I hear from him, he said, one of the guys there, Frank, took all the money. You know.
Of course, it's just a story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they were seeing how many times they could loop you into this. And
and is he one of them that's been doing a lot of it to people, or
John Kudo himself? Yeah, I mean he's talked to John several times, right?
Yeah, I mean he probably will not be bothering me anymore. So everything looks actually pretty good right now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna download this and this other thing and run a scan.
Okay.
It's actually pretty clean, which is good. I'm not going to go through any of your personal files or anything. And this was the computer that you did everything on?
Not everything, because this is a new one since the beginning of the year.
Okay. Are you going to be on the other one ever?
No.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to keeping fresh and clean.
Yeah. I figured I'd never hear from him again anyway. So
Yeah, he got spooked. He realized he didn't have you on the hook anymore.
Too many people involved. He was like, okay, I'm gonna start looking for another victim.
He was exposed.
Yeah, he called me a scammer actually when I talked with him on the phone.
So you're the scammer, aren't you?
He's the one, yeah. That's what they say to me. So actually, I was on the phone with a lady. And she was going to get gift cards. She was because I was on this one scammer's computer watching him talk to her. So I called her up, and thankfully she picked up. She's like, yeah, I was about to go and get $4,000 worth of cards. And I said, no. I said, turn your MacBook off right now. And the guy kept calling her, and I said no. Because they were messing with her bank account and moving the money around and everything. And I said, no, go check your app on your phone. Don't worry about the computer because they manipulated it. And she verified, and she's like, oh my gosh, they did do this to me.
So this is the...
Okay, so his name is Pierogi. He's a guy that basically does cybersecurity. Smart guy, very smart guy. If you get a phone call that tells you that you have a computer virus, that you have won a refund, do not take it. Do not. The reason why you don't take these calls, and this is the truth, they will tell you get a refund of $500. And then what they tell you is, oh, I accidentally put another 0 or 2 zeros in it. Now, here's what you need to do. Otherwise, we're either going to call the police and have you thrown in jail for stealing from us, or they'll cry and tell you they're going to lose their job. So you're going to go out and you're going to get gift cards from Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and you're going to go ahead and try and get, their money back. But what you don't know is how they've done it. They have literally taken the money out of your savings account, flipped it to your checking account, and literally mess you up. That's what they do. You don't get any extra money. What you end up doing is giving them money. It's a complete scam. Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone immediately. Once they tell you who they are. First of all, if it's your Social Security, saying that your Social Security benefits have been, suspended, or that you're in risk of having them be lost, hang up the phone. The Social Security Administration will never, ever call you and do that. Ever. You'll receive something in the mail from them. Second, if it's somebody that says your computer has viruses, or if they say you have won money, you have won a refund, hang up the phone. It's a scam. They will make it look like they have given you money. But here's what they're doing. You have to put your bank onto your computer so they can make a deposit. They're not making a deposit. They're actually getting into your bank is what they're doing. They're accessing your bank account, and they're taking money from you. And then you're going to the bank to get gift cards to send you. It's called cryptocurrency. If you've heard the word cryptocurrency, that's things like Apple gift cards, or not Apple gift cards, but, Best Buy gift cards and Walmart cards and all those, those cards you buy that you scratch off the back on. They have little codes, right? Okay. One of them is quite well known, and that's the Google Store card, the Google cards. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Simply hang up the phone. If you're concerned, make a phone call to the actual company to ask them if they contacted you. Then you'll talk to them. But this company is never going to do what you're going to have to do with them. Never, ever, ever give them access to your computer. If you don't watch any of my videos, except for this one, then this channel has been successful. I can stop doing videos down the road and know at least one video made a difference because it saved people money. This is a huge scam. Huge. It makes millions, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars a year preying on senior citizens. Please don't be the next victim. If you'd like more videos like this to see exactly what the scammers do and watch Pierogi get into their computer and start deleting their files and then see how the scammer reacts to it, let me know in the comment section. Until tomorrow, my name's Larry and my call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. The very best to you and yours. God bless you and thanks for watching Ham Radio Live. Goodbye, everybody.